Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are going to do the assignment how to identify Rafa, Nasib and Jar in a sentence. Okay. So I'll quickly recap what is Rafa, what is Nasib and what is Jar. So if you take a sentence, you find the fi'il, the verb. So who's doing the verb, who's doing the fi'il is called Rafa. And detail of the verb is called Nasib. And finally, if something is coming after of, word of or harf of, we call Jar. That's the idea. Okay. So first sentence, my teacher drinks chocolate milk regularly. So simply what you have to do is first you find it out. What is the verb here? Verb is only one verb is there, drinks. So then think who's drinking, teacher, my teacher, right? Actually teacher is drinking. So teacher is Rafa. Who's doing the act is Rafa. Then what is drinking? The detail of the act, that is called chocolate milk. So it is Nasib. And how frequent he is drinking? Regularly. That also detail of the act. So it is Nasib. So chocolate milk and regularly both are Nasib. Okay, then one word is pending, that is my. My, to identify my, you need to put it in a different format to identify in English. So my teacher, you can write it as teacher of my. You have to put that off there, teacher of my. So what is coming off after of is called jar. So teacher of mine. So mine become jar. That means my also jar. Okay. Here you cannot see the off. So you need to put it in a different way. You have to write it in a way that off can be visible. Then you have to find out what is after off. You have to say that is jar. That's the idea. So my is become jar. And drinks is obviously fi'il. Okay. So I'm giving the answer for the entire sentence. So it will, here you need the assignment says you need to understand the Rafa, Nasib, Jar, only the highlighted word, but I'm giving the complete answer that will help you to understand how this thing exactly works. Okay. Okay. Second one, he doesn't like vegetables or fruits. He doesn't like vegetable or fruits. So you need to find the fi'il here. Actually it's like, or you can say doesn't like itself as a fi'il, doesn't like. Okay. So who doesn't like? So who's doing this act? He. So he become Rafa. Doesn't like become fi'il. And what he doesn't like, vegetable or fruit. So vegetable and fruit both are detail of the act. So those are called nasib. And this in between vegetable and food, you can see o, right? The connecting word, that is actually a harf. That is actually a harf. Okay. Third one, he buys his chocolate milk happily. He buys his chocolate milk happily. So go to the verb, find the verb. Only one verb is there, buys. So who's buying? That is called buys is fi'il. Who's buying? He buys. So he become Rafa. The person who's doing that become Rafa. What he's buying? He's buying chocolate milk. Chocolate milk become Nasib. How he's buying? He's buying happily. So that's also detail of the act. So that also Nasib. Then only one is pending, that is his. So what is his? His chocolate milk, you can write it as chocolate milk of his, right? So it is something after off. You cannot see this off because it wrote as his chocolate milk. Or you can write it another way, chocolate milk of his. So you need to do this to understand to put it off. If you feel like you can put off there, you have to write it in a different way, put the off and put what is after off, say it is jar. So chocolate milk of his, so it is his is coming after off, so his is jar. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, fourth one is a little tricky one. Okay, so I'll try to make you understand. So the sentence is, he knows his children like it but he doesn't share. Okay, so we need to break this. Actually two sentences are there. He knows his children like it, and but he doesn't share is another sentence, two sentence. So I'll go to the first sentence. He knows his children like it. So first verb that you can find here is knows, right? It's a verb. So who's doing this knows verb? He is doing, he knows. Okay. So the person who's doing the verb become Rafa. So he become Rafa. What he knows? What he knows? His children like it. His children like it. So he knows something about children. Okay. So this children is become Nasib. Okay. Then like it. Okay. Like it, if you take like it, so that like is a fi'il. So you can see within the one sentence there are two fi'il. So how to solve this puzzle is, you have to take he knows his children like it, that sentence. He knows his fi'il, he is Rafa. his children like it, the combined, that entire phrase you have to take it as a nasib, because there are two fi'ls inside. Okay, so you need to take that entire phrase as nasib. His children like it. Then go to the his children like it, and you can break down within that nasib sentence. You can break it down. It considers a different sentence, and you can break it down within that. So his children like it. Children, there is a verb called like, who's doing that act. Like act is done by children, right? So children become rafa here, if you take it as a separate sentence. Okay, so children become rafa. His children you can write as children of his. So his become after of, that is become jar. And what they like it. So it's a detail of the act, it become nasib. Okay, so I'll tell again. He knows his children like it. You need to solve this puzzle. You need to uh, divide that also into two. That is, he knows and his children like it into two parts. The knows act detail is his children like it. That's what he knows. So entire phrase has to be considered as a nasib. Okay. Then he is the one who's doing the act of knows. That he become rafa. Then so his children like it become nasib as a phrase. Okay, this is complicated because there are two isms inside, two fi'ls inside. Okay, inside one sentence. Then if you take his children like it, that you can break into few parts, and like is the fi'l, children is rafa, his is a jar, and it is nasib. Okay, that's the idea. It's a little complicated, but don't worry too much. If it is so complicated for you, you think like he become rafa, knows his fi'l, entire his children like it is nasib. Just that is enough. Then but is connecting word. It is called harf. He doesn't share. So doesn't share is the fi'l. Who doesn't share? He doesn't share. So he become rafa. Okay. So that's the idea. It's a little complicated one, but don't worry too much. Just think that the entire phrase has a nasib. That's more than enough at this stage. You don't have to go in that entire phrase, and don't need to break down further. It will become complicated. So entire phrase can be considered as a nasib at this point of time. Okay, the fifth one, other all are easy, only that one is complicated. So even if you don't understand, that doesn't matter, because that is a rare situation. Okay, the fifth one is, my teacher also like yummy shawarmas. This is very easy. What is the verb? Likes. Who likes? Teacher likes, right? So likes is the fi'l, teacher is the rafa. Okay, what he like yummy shawarmas. Okay, yummy shawarmas. So both become nasib. Shawarmas become nasib, yummy become nasib. And my teacher, you can write as teacher of my. So my become jar. Okay, teacher of mine. So my become jar. Also you can say it's a connecting word, it's a harf. Okay, that's the idea. Okay, number 6, his students also like shawarmas. His students also like shawarma. Again, like, who likes? Students like. So his student become rafa, like become fi'il. His student you can write as student of his. So his is jar after of. And what they like? Sharma. So detail of the act is called nasib. And also it's a connecting word, that is called harf. Number 7, he buys shawarmas for his class sometimes. So here find the act fi'il. Act is the fi'il. Buys. Who's buying? Who's doing the act? He become rafa. Buys become fi'il. What is buy? Shawarmas. To whom is buy? For his class sometimes. For buying his class. And how frequent is buying? Sometimes. So all the other things are detail of the act. How frequent is buying? Sometimes. Okay, it's a detail of the act. That is nasib. Sometimes is nasib. To whom is buying? His class. Actually, his class of his, right? So class is nasib. His is coming after of. That is jar. Okay, class of his. And shawarmas also what he buys. That is also nasib. Then this four, it's a connecting word. So it's a harf. Okay. The number 8, my teacher loses his phone often. So what is the fi'il? Loses. Who's losing? Teacher is losing. Teacher become rafa. What is losing? He's losing his phone. His phone. So basically phone is the one he's losing. Okay, that means that will become nasib. His phone you can write as phone of his. That after of his become jar. How frequent is losing it? often, that is a detail of the act, nasib. And my teacher you can write as teacher of mine, so my is become jar after of. Okay, so basically I'll remind you again, the person who's doing the act become rafa. Detail, any detail of that, it can be what, it can be how, it can be where, it can be when, any detail of the act, any detail of the act become nasib. And if any word comes after of, that is jar. That's a simple definition. If you can understand that, that's more than enough to solve any puzzle. And this will be uh, this will be more helpful to decode the Quran and understand what is the rafa nasib jar in the Quran. This is like one of most important lesson. This lesson will not repeat again. Okay, lesson will repeat, when we do in the Quran translation. So these two concept, what is ism fi'il harf, understanding that, and understand in the ism category you need to understand rafa nasib jar. That is the most important thing that you have to do, because it will again repeat after completing the entire syllabus. When you translate in the Quran, it will repeat. That time you will need to know, because after that we are looking the complete sentence when you are translating the Quran. Okay. Okay, next one. My teacher patiently explain hard concepts. Okay, so what is the fi'il here? Fi'il is explain. Who's explaining? Teacher is explaining. So teacher is rafa, the person who's doing the act. Okay, my teacher, teacher of mine, so it's come after of, it's jar. How she's explaining? She's explaining patiently. So that's a detail of the act, right? It's a detail of the explain, how she explained. So it's a nasib. Any detail of the fi'il is nasib. And what she's explaining, hard concept. So it's a detail of the act, what she explained, right? How explain, what explain. So hard concept become nasib. This is very easy. It's very easy, but it's very important. It's very important to figure out in Quran each sentence what is rafa nasib jar, and like how the entire sentence is structured. So this is the one of most important lessons that you can learn. If you can understand this, that means you can easily translate the Quran, inshallah. That's the idea. Okay, next one, 10th. uh, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive my teacher. So here, what is the fi'il is forgive. Who's doing the act of fi'il? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So here the word Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala become rafa. Okay, forgive is the fi'il. Whom is forgiving? The teacher, right? Teacher become detail of the act. So is nasib. And my, teacher of mine, after of my is become my become after of, that is jar. May, the word may, it's a kind of a calling word. It's like a dua. So at the moment you can go with that. It has a what you call a harf. Okay, at the moment you can go with as harf, because when it come to Arabic, it will little bit different how it duas are asked, like it's a request. Okay, anyhow, it's a very easy exercise, but one of most critical important exercise. Try to understand this concept. This is nothing to memorize here, just to understand the concept. So if you can understand this concept, this will not helpful in your lessons. It will helpful when you're translating, you mean directly translating the Quran, inshallah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to directly understand the Quran, and understand the Quran while we are praying. Because praying, you cannot see the translation, right? You will see only Arabic, you will hear only Arabic, or you will recite only Arabic. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to understand the Quran while we reciting in the salah, that we are talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to take those lessons to our life completely, and obey, and teach others, and teach an entire ummah, and let them also obey to this message, inshallah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to go, all of us to go to paradise, to understanding and taking the lessons to this lessons of the Quran to our life, inshallah. Subhanallah wa bihamdi, subhanakallah wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu.